welcome to Bowie Youth Showcase. We are on location with the Mobile Medicine Mission in Bullitt County, Midway, Alabama, with Dr.Sandra Mathews Ford and her husband Henry Ford. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Ford, tell us about your mission and how it was formed.
Well, the mission is a promise to help. It's sponsored by the Spirit of Luke Charitable Foundation, whose initiative is to really help to eliminate some of the healthcare disparities that exist in third world Alabama, which is the Black Belt. And the mission involves going to the 12 Black Belt counties to help with health care, ministry, clothes, and we also feed them.
What inspired you to, start this?
The initial idea was that when I was 8 years old, growing up in Clayton, Alabama, there were, my father took me to the doctor, and there was about 50 or 60 people in the waiting room, and at that time it was segregated, so there was a black and a white side. And it seems like there was a disproportionate number of whites being seen compared to blacks, and black people were just sitting there, and you'd start off going to the doctor, for instance, maybe 3 o'clock in the evening and get home by 11 o'clock at night, because there were just the healthcare disparities, and the number of physicians in the area were just, it was a very much underserved area. But I was sitting there, and this black lady was just moaning, and it never seemed to come her time to be seen. And just finally, all of a sudden, her family just started crying, and we looked over there, she had passed. And it just touched my heart so much that I said, Lord, if you enable me to become a physician, I promise to come back and help. Yes, it was such a profound, compelling moment at that time. It always resonated within the deeper parts of my being, and I never forgot that. And as God did empower me and allowed me to go to medical school, I went on and finished my residency and began to practice in Birmingham. Got married to this wonderful man, and we were listening one day, or actually read an article in the Birmingham newspaper about the Black Belt, and it kind of rekindled that fire that I had and that passion that I wanted to serve the area. And before that, I'd been going to places like Selma, other indigent places to just be of service, but then, that opportunity just brought back to my memory what I had made that promise. And what happened was, we decided that it was time for us to embark on that direction. My husband also has family members from the Black Belt, but on the western part in Perry County. So our church was on a 40-day fast. And the Bible says, write the vision and make it clear that they that read it can run with it. Make it plain. And out of that 40-day fast, God gave us the clarity, and He began to write the mission. And after that, we had it all written up. There was a desire to just tell everybody about it. Everywhere I went, I was just passionate about it. And we began to tell the hospital public relations person, Juanita Williams, and we had talked to a vascular doctor who actually goes to South America, and he was telling us all that was involved in doing mobile medicine. And I was saying, like, well, a mobile clinic, he says, you can pay anywhere from $300,000 to $1 million for those. And I'm like, wow, we don't have that right now. But then Juanita said, let's go and talk to Charlie Faulkner, who is the CEO for Baptist Hospital, and let's see if he has any interest in this. And so Well, my husband and I made an appointment, and we went and talked to Mr. Faulkner, and he says, we have a mobile clinic that we were going to use for a Hispanic ministry, but it never materialized, so you guys can use it. And this vision began to just evolve. We would pray, and the first mission was to G's Bend, where the women do the quilting. The town has such historic, it has such a historical background, and Henry will tell you about our first mission. We went down there about the ferry.
Well, one of the things we do, we research all the areas that we go to, and we believe that God had raised us up to be more like the reconnaissance in the Marines, in the armed forces, where we'll go in and scout out the land and identify the targets and then call in the reinforcements. And so that's what we would do with our research. So, and as we researched the black belt, which kind of started, our initial research basically was started because of this article that was in the Birmingham News that said, it read, Third World Alabama, it was the black belt. Alabama's Third World was the name of the article. And it was like a series of different articles on different communities. And as we read that article, God, gave us this revelation about what exactly our mission would be. So during that fast, we wrote down, we have it written down even today, and even 9 years later, we're still doing exactly what God told us to write during that fast. And he told us to guard this vision and just do that, and he would bless it. He would give us a mission that was so great that we wouldn't ever for one day think that we could actually do it ourselves. It would be, everybody would know that this is God. And that's just what he's done. It's just unbelievable how people just come just to participate from far and near. Just like you guys found out about what we were doing. And we have had people from far north as Fairbanks, Alaska, who have come to volunteer to go on a mission with us, and as south as Venezuela. One of our partners does missionary work in Venezuela, and they plant churches. And one of the churches that they planted there heard about what we were doing, and they wanted to sow. So they came to Birmingham to go on a mission with us. That's how God is making things happen. We got a mission that we do. We've been doing it 9 years, and we hadn't had a grant or any budget per se. It's all people helping people, and people bringing to the table what they have, and it's been just a blessing. I've seen over 10,000 people that we've ministered to and that we've clothed, and we've probably seen over 5,500 people as far as in the clinic, and giving out thousands of plates of food and bags of clothes. It's been just unbelievable. Over 1,700 people have gotten saved, on these missions. So, and that's basically our main goal, is to share the love of Jesus. And so, but our first mission was to G's Bend. Wow, it was something special. I don't know if a lot of people know the history of G's Bend, but because we do history and we find out why, the history of why our area ends up to be the most impoverished, the most underserved, the most uninsured. There's reasons, and we try to address those reasons and not only help in just providing medical care, food, clothing, and knowledge, but we also try to work with other organizations and to bring in resources to those communities separate from what we do, so the people in the community could get blessed by the resources that are available out here. We've over the years we've been networking, and that's what we do. Is basically it's networking, and that's how we're able to provide so many services. And every time we look up at somebody new, wanting to be a part of what we're doing. Just recently, the stroke team from UAB, they heard about what we were doing, and Dr. Ford had a desire to find out why this certain county in Alabama, Perry County, had the highest per capita stroke rate in the country. And it's like, wow, right here, right down from, not far from Birmingham, the mecca of medicine and all these other things, good things are just surrounding. And why would this little community, you know, have a stroke rate so high? And so she took that on as a challenge and started asking other physicians to help her and to do some type of research, and they heard about that. And so they came down there first, but then they loved what we were doing, and on their own, and this is not even the school paying them or anything, but that team volunteers to come with us and to do free Doppler tests and the brain scans on the people, something that they would never have opportunities to just get, you know. And so that's the type of miracles that God are doing, just providing those type of resources for the people, simply because we were, I guess, crazy enough to just believe that he could do what he said he was going to do. And Gee's Bend is such an awesome place. A lot of people might have heard of Gee's Bend because of the quilters. They're sort of like famous. They have a quilt in the Smithsonian, and they have changed quilting from just a thing that people did to warm themselves in the winter to now it's an art form. And people are buying these quilts they do for anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. These quilts are going for. As a matter of fact, in this last election, one of the presidential candidates actually came through and was doing like the civil rights tour and stopped through Gee's Bend and purchased a couple of quilts. John McCain purchased a couple of quilts from them. So it's that type of thing is happening down there now. When we first got there, though, they were really, really struggling because one of the things that people who know a little history about the black belt and the civil rights movement, they know Gee's Bend from being the place that had the ferry where it was a SNCC, but it was the other organizations that sort of like the students from the north would come down and try to get people registered to vote in Camden, and they had and so this was one of the stops for the buses. Well, they couldn't stay in Camden because the Ku Klux Klan would come at night and disrupt them. But they had this black community, which was Gee's Bend, and they would spend the night there. They would get on the ferry in the morning, ride over to Camden, and they would register people to vote in a rally. Well, it made the Klan people mad that they couldn't get to them, so they decided they would burn the ferry. So they set the ferry on fire. And so Gee's Bend is, the reason they call it the Bend, the historical part of it is that it's on the Alabama River. And so the Alabama River runs like a snake. And so the part of land that's in between that loop in the river, they call that a bend. And it's like a one-way, it's like a peninsula really, because it's one way in, one way out. And so the road comes up to the river and stops. And so when you get ready to go back, you have to turn around and go back out to the highway. So it's an isolated community because of that. And without the ferry, which if you ride the ferry, it's 7 miles to Camden, which is the downtown area per se, where the county seat, where the stores, etc. are. Well, if you don't ride the ferry, you have to go 40 miles around and go to the bridge and cross over the river. So 7 miles, 40 miles, you know, we do the math, so we're talking to go and buy some aspirin from the drugstore, it's an 80-mile trip. So that's pretty isolated. People not realizing how things are happening down there. And so, but in spite of all that, these resilient people were making their way and doing well. But the ferry, the story about the ferry, I guess I may as well finish that. The story about the ferry is that after they burned the ferry down, which was back maybe over 40 years ago, right?
Tell them they burned it down because.
Yeah, they burned it down because the Ku Klux Klan didn't want the students coming over helping the people vote, register to vote, so they burned it down to keep them from coming over. And they tried to, for 40 years, tried to get the ferry back again. And even as we started, they had many people who tried to get it. As a matter of fact, they actually had built the ferry. They had paid, they had gotten government grants and stuff like that, and built a ferry. But even with that, then the politics got involved, and they couldn't even get the ferry activated. And so the people who built the ferry were just riding it and using it as a fishing boat. And that was going on for years. And that was when we came, and that was our first spiritual journey, mission to G's Bend. And we promised the people that we were going to pray. So we brought a prayer team down there, and we prayed at the site where the ferry was supposed to be. And I'm telling you, in less than 2 years, after 40 years, the ferry was up running again.
Yeah.
And so we believe God came and did a great work, even though other people were working with it. And we had some people who were a part of our mission, happened to be very close to the governor, and things started happening. Before we know it, they had a ferry, and so it was a blessing. And that's just one of the many stories that God has allowed us to participate and be a part of, and what is happening here in the Black Belt. And we were so excited that we are able to do this mission. We do the first Saturday in every month. We go on a mission, and we'll meet at our church in the parking lot of More Than Conquerors Church in Birmingham at 6:30 in the morning. And we congregate there, and we pray and get fired up about what we're going to share with the people. And people show up. And we've been doing this for 9 years now. And every mission that we've had, that somebody shows up that we don't know, that we don't know how they got there. They just heard about it, and they came to help. And that's the promise to help. You know, not only that we make a promise to help, but a lot of people that we don't even know didn't know. As a matter of fact, you know, most of the people that participate, we didn't know them before this happened. So it's just an awesome experience, you know, for me, and it really has taken my faith to a whole nother level to see how God is able to do these things, and how we can do those same things that Jesus did, which was when he came out of his 40-day fast. Basically, he came to Jerusalem, and he healed the people, he fed the people, you know, and he taught the people, and he healed the people. And basically, we set this mission up based on that. So we came prepared to feed the people, we came prepared to heal the people, and we came prepared to teach the people. And that's what we do, and our mission is based on that. And it's just, it continues on.
Okay, so who do your volunteers consist of?
Mainly, well, it's people from all walks of life. We have nurses, we have physicians, we have ministers, we have social workers, we have media specialists, we have people from that are just lovers of mankind, or community activists, just people, educators, just people from all walks of life that have something that they want to give. You know, you don't, a lot of people would like to go on mission trips, and generally we think about going overseas, but you know, there are people that are right under us that need help. You don't have to cross the sea to see the cross, you know, and so people have embraced this, and it's amazing. People from all ages. We've had the oldest, a couple that was 90 to come from Florida. We've had all ethnic groups from Hispanics to Africans to Caucasians, black people, just all nationalities. We've had people from different denominations, the Catholic Church, the Protestant Church, the non-denominational, the Seventh-day Adventists. It's symbolic of what you see in Revelations, that it says people from every nation and every tribe, and just coming together to do the work, our Father's business. And it's just a compelling story of God's hand. He said, you know, we praise Him for His mighty acts. We praise Him for His excellent greatness. And I mean, it is just such a vivid picture of what you would think a God move would be about. You know, it's not us, because we don't have those resources, but whatever need we have, we'll pray, and people hear the clarion call of the Spirit, and they show up. He sends out an email, and we never know who's coming. We never know. You know, sometimes we do know what services we're going to offer, because they'll say that, but there are people that just, you know, God touches their heart and they come and show up, and it has just grown and grown and grown and grown, and what a awesome privilege it is for God to just use this ministry like that. It's blessed us, you know, more than it has blessed the people, probably.
Yeah, most of the volunteers would tell you that. We normally have anywhere from 25 to 50 volunteers that go with us on each mission, and they all get blessed, and we probably get blessed more than anybody. But you know, the things that God has done for us, I've had my own personal miracle, you know, and I attribute that to making my commitment to do His will and to try to lead this movement that's happening. As a matter of fact, you know, I give God got all the glory and all the honor for everything we do, you know. But He allows us to sow seeds, and a lot of people don't understand the principle of the seed sowing, but everything that's happening in our lives and in this world is based on that principle. And you sow a seed, and that seed produces. And you can analogize anything good that's happening in your life and bad to that principle. And we believe that as we heard God and sowed this seed of consistency, of just blind faith in Him, to help, and that is being rewarded not only here in Alabama, but we've noticed in this last couple of years, people all across the country are doing similar things. Even on the national level, if you notice in the last few years, that television stations have been doing these mission works and big things in Dallas and in Nashville and things like that. I think MSNBC is doing something, and basically, the whole process of developing something like that, you know, God gave us this particular standard that He set for us to do it by, which was kind of different. You know, everybody else tries to raise money and say, okay, we need all this. We need to have this $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in order to really to do this. But He told us to not raise any money, to not ask for money. He said, just ask for people. So we want you to show up, and that's all we need. Because if you show up, what God has put in you is coming with you. And so some people have money probably. Some people have time. Some people have knowledge. Some people have things. Some people have transportation. We've had people who just come to drive and to carry other people who do other things. And so people come for all different reasons. But the one thing we have in common, you come and you bless, and you sow the seed, you get blessed, and you reap a good harvest. And it's just a wonderful thing. And I would encourage any of your listeners to find an opportunity where you are to sow a seed. That's what it's all about. It's all about the obedience. You know, hearing. You know, when God is speaking to you, He might use a man. He might just use that little voice in your head. You know, but the key is not who speaks. Is if you hear, if you listen, and you do, you know, the will of God, and you take that step, help somebody. It's a blessing.
If any of our viewers wanted to learn more about your organization and what you're doing, what would be the best way to find that out?
We have a number of ways you can contact us, but the main way that we communicate is over the internet. And so we have a website, spiritofluke.com. If you go to the spiritofluke.com, we also have a Facebook, spiritofluke.com, and we also have YouTube, a number of YouTube that you can access at spiritofluke.com, by Henry Ford, spiritofluke.com, and some videos about some of our missions that we've been on, and what we do, and all the fun we have, and helping and stuff like that. And so you can look at those, and also we have another website that's another branch of our foundation. You know, because our foundation is Spirit of Luke Charitable Foundation, but our mission work too, the Black Belts, Dr. Ford said earlier, was a promise to help. But we also have a mentoring concept that God gave us, and it's similar to Spirit of Luke in what it actually is about. It's it's networking, and if you go to it's a tiedtopurpose.com, and just to sum it up real quickly, what it is a tool that you can use if you have a mentoring organization right now. If you go there and look at this concept, it's based on 3 lunches, taking a kid to 3 lunches, and doing those in those 3 lunches. If you use the tools that we supply for you on the site, you would impact that mentee for life. And basically it's for men and women. The Tied to Purpose is a men's, and Stepping into Destiny is the women. And the final encounter is basically the Tied to Purpose aspect. Is you share a tie with a kid, you know, and that tie was going to symbolize that I'm tied to your purpose when I give that to you. That along with a certificate of purpose, what we call it, right? And that certificate of purpose is going to be something that mentee could put on his wall, that he'll see every day, and what it's going to have on it is who he is, who he believes he is, not who his friends say he is, or who these negative people say, oh, you ain't nothing, you're never going to be nothing, none of that. But it's going to be who he says he is, and you as a mentor are going to help him or help her transcribe that in a way that is futuristic. And not only is it going to identify who you are, but it's also it's going to create a roadmap for your life. And it's just such a powerful tool. It's what happened to me, one of the things to help change my life.
Okay, wow, well, thank you very much, you guys, for coming on today and just telling us about what you guys are doing. And we wish you the best of luck with your mission, and hopefully you can reach many more for years to come.